Pretty obviously a pretty big day for you, but the thing that I think about too is when did you find out you were going to start, and how prepared were you mentally to go out there and pitch as well as you did?
I found out last night around probably an hour or so after the game. Coach Foxhall called me and asked me if I was busy today around 6 o'clock, and I told him I wasn't. But as far as mentally wise, this is something that I've dreamed about, since the time I picked up a baseball, since the time I started watching college baseball. So I think that piece was already taken care of.
Up next, we'll go to Theo DeRosa.
Houston, you were at Itawamba Community College. Did you ever think you'd be headed here to the College World Series?
A bit at a loss for words, but it's just something I could always see for sure happening, especially with the talent that we have on this team. I mean, the people, the arms, the bats, just all around, yes, definitely can see it.
Up next, we'll go to Rick Cleveland.
Yeah, Houston, just tell me, what is it like to pitch in this atmosphere?
Unreal, indescribable adjectives. I mean, I could go on for days. The fans are unreal. They brought the energy every single day, and I'm just so excited that we were able to get it done for them.
Up next, we'll go to Robbie Falk.
Hootie, this is an offense that you're not going to shut down. They're going to get some runs. They're going to get on the bases. But you did exactly what they needed you to do. You limited the damage. You gave up a couple of runs, but they never had that big inning when you were in there. How did you kind of assess how you were able to attack them while also limiting them today?
Yeah, I think that was probably the biggest piece, was just getting in there and making sure they didn't have that big inning. Hats off to them, though. They did a wonderful job all weekend. They're a great team. They're hot. Very, very difficult to throw to, I will say. But, I trust my defense, and I think that's what it goes back to the most, is just being aggressive in the strike zone, attacking, getting ahead, and just letting them play behind me.
We'll go back to Steve.
What do you mention too? I mean, your whole life, these are the moments you dream of. I mean, a chance to dogpile on the field and a chance to go to Omaha. Now that you've done it, how does it feel? Does it meet your expectation? I mean, or is it just describe what you're feeling right now?
The Lord has blessed me tremendously, man. Everything I ever wanted, absolutely everything I ever thought it would be. Like I said, it's really hard to describe, but yeah, just an unreal feeling.
All right, guys, we have time for a couple more. We'll go to Joel Coleman next.
Houston, I know that, the last 3 College World Series, now Mississippi State's been in all of them, the only program in the country to do that. I know this, for you and for several of you, this will be your first trip to Omaha, but I'm curious, what's it like to come into a program like this that has built a standard of year after year? This is kind of the expectation. And what kind of, when you see this crowd and the expectation, I mean, what's that like as a player to come into all this and have that pressure to deliver and then to do it?
Well, like you said, there's that expectation, and I think that a big piece is just going out there and doing what you've been doing since you got on campus. And I think that our coaches do a great job of putting that winning mentality in us, and making sure we all know that is the standard and that is what we expect to do every single year. So it's just been an honor to be a part of it.
We'll end with Gary Graves.
How do you all see, I guess if you look at this field, the World Series field, how do you feel about your chances and with 3 SEC teams in it? It's like, how balanced is it? Maybe even though this is new for you.
I think we got as good a chance as anybody. I know I'm excited. Everybody's pumped, but I think it'll just be go out there and just play the style of baseball we've been playing all year. I don't think that the pressure will really get to anybody like that. I think that we'll just, come in and play relaxed baseball, play loose baseball for each other like we have all year.
Hello, team. You've grown up a Mississippi State guy your whole life, and you've been able to watch this on television, and now that you've had the opportunity to do it yourself, what does it feel like to dogpile at Dudy Noble Field?
It's an incredible feeling. First couple seconds are fun, then after that it gets a little crowded, a uncomfortable to say the least, but it was really fun, and I'm glad I got to do it with my boys.
Up next, we'll go to Tyler Horka.
Yeah, Logan, obviously you got one of the biggest hits and one of the biggest innings of the game, but what did it feel like to hit that 3-run home run and just kind of take us through that at bat in that moment?
He had gone fastball a couple times, and he went to the changeup, and I hadn't seen the slider yet, and I had a feeling he was going to go slider 1-2, and I saw it up, and I was able to put a good swing on it, and it felt like it was a really good swing as soon as I took it, and it went out, and I kind of blacked out after that.
Up next, we'll go to Theo DeRosa.
Logan, just being able to put together that 6-run second inning, how big was that for just setting the tone early after the night offensively you guys had yesterday?
It was huge for the offense to get going and to give the pitcher some breathing room to be able to work and just work in the zone without having to worry about giving up a solo home or anything like that. And I think it was huge for the confidence of the offense as well.
We'll go back to Steve.
Well, see, you and I had a conversation back at the beginning of the season, and you said your goal as a team was to be the last team to win. It's been a lot of miles under the bridge since then, but now here you are. You've taken that next step in a journey. How does it feel to accomplish this goal, but also to understand everything you want still right in front of you?
It's awesome, but we still have to play our best baseball, and it's ahead of us, and we're ready to get to Omaha and go after it.
Let's go to Joel Coleman next.
I asked Houston a similar question, Logan, but I mean, 3 straight College World Series appearances. No one else in the country has done that right now at the moment, longest streak in the country. And the cast of characters have changed. Jake was here and gone, and this is your guys, some of you guys' first rodeo with this. I mean, from your experience, why do you think this program can have the turnover it has, but yet still have the consistency year after year? I mean, either knocking at the door or here you are 3 straight times headed north.
I think it's just culture, and the culture around here is to win and to go as far as you can, and I just think the culture here is great, and it's probably the best in the country if I had to say so.
Up next, we'll go to Robbie Falk.
Logan, bouncing off Steve's question, what he said about one of your quotes, I think when you hit a walk-off home run or whatever it was earlier in the season, you said it was do or die, and y'all didn't want to die. Y'all were kind of in the same situation tonight. It just seemed like the plate discipline was better, but also y'all were aggressive as well. How did you feel like y'all were able to attack that early in this game, and what changed from yesterday?
I think we were just more disciplined today, laying off pitches out of the zone and trying to hit our pitch instead of trying to hit their pitch, and just having good approaches at the plate. It really helped.
All right, guys, we have time for a couple more. Let's go back to Theo.
Logan, you've had an extended look at him today, but you mentioned, I think on Twitter a few weeks ago, that it's fun to catch Landon Sims. How hard is it to catch Landon Sims, and why is it so fun, and why is it so difficult?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's hard because he just throws it where I put my mitt, and that makes it really easy. But he's definitely the most fun to catch for sure. He's just always locked in. His stuff's always good, and it's a blast.
And then we'll finish with Shotgun Spratling.
Logan, you said that the standard that's being created is because of the culture. What creates that culture? What is done in the off season that gives you guys that culture that you're able to produce like you have?
Just trying to get better every day and continuing to get better every day, every week, every month. Every time you step on the field, you're just trying to get better. And I think that creates just a great culture to be a great team and a great program.
Well, you opened the regular season with a 4-inning stint against Texas, and then you close out this one with a lengthy one too, a little more on the line this time. But how comfortable were you out there, and how do you feel right now?
I was pretty comfortable. I was telling people all day once I got the ball in the bullpen, in the word that I was going in the next inning. All my nerves were going to flush away. So I was nervous there for a while. The past 2 days. Hasn't been much sleep, hasn't been much eating. I'm a little bit of a anxiety king over here, but once I got the ball, it was a lot of fun.
Up next, we'll go to Tyler Horka.
Yeah, Landon, that was obviously the first home run you've given up all season, and like Steve said, in a 4-run or a 4-inning outing, it came kind of early, and that you get quite a few outs after that to secure the win. Just kind of what's your mentality when you see that go over the fence, and how do you bounce back to get those outs and take it home to the finish line?
You know, hats off to that guy. You know, he's a really good baseball player. And, you know, if there's anybody right now that I would not be extremely mad about giving up a home run to, it would be him. But, you know, I was 3-1 in that count, and I'd walked the previous guy on 4 pitches. So, you know, it allowed me to reset, you know, hit the reset button a little bit. So, you know, I think it came at the best time possible if it were to come at a good time.
Next, we'll go to Matt St. Jane.
Hey, Landon, on the flip side of that, he's the one that grounded into the double play to end the ball game. So what was your mindset going into that at bat, especially with 2 runners on, and how good did it feel when that last out was made?
You know, me and Logan were just talking about it, but, you know, I wasn't going to throw him another fastball. I had really good feel for my slider right there in the last 2 innings. So, you know, if I knew if I located it well, I had a chance for him to roll over it. You know, any out right there was big, but, you know, that double play was huge, and, you know, it sent us on our way to Omaha.
Let's go back to Steve.
And it's pretty clear Notre Dame came to swing the bats. I mean, they didn't take a lot of pitches, and they were very aggressive. I mean, do you feel like in some ways that kind of plays into your hands a little bit when you have some guys that maybe are a little bit overly aggressive and you can kind of get that fastball? But how would you just kind of describe attacking those guys when you know they're such free swingers?
You know, it makes you attack them even more because they can hit the ball so well. So, you don't want to put anybody on base. You know, they're extremely disciplined too. You know, they spit on good pitches a lot of the time. And, you know, every mistake we threw this weekend, it seems like they, you know, either hit a hard line drive in the gap or found a way to get it over the fence.
Up next, we'll go to Courtney Robb.
Yeah, for a guy who calls himself a anxious king, I'm sure I can speak for everyone when I say you can't really tell it when you're out there on the bump. How do you stay so collected when you're actually in that big of a moment?
You know, the moment, yeah, it's big, but it's the same game I've been playing since I was 3 years old. You know, that's never going to change. You know, the rubber's still 60 feet, 6 inches away from home plate, and I still got to throw it over the plate to get out. So, you know, I try and not get too big for either moment, whether it's too big or too small. You know, it's just a game, and, you know, the stakes were a little bit higher, but just keeping my cool out there and trying to throw it over the plate was the main goal.
All right, guys, we have time for a couple more. Let's go to Rick Cleveland next.
Yeah, Landon, you said Saturday night that if you teed one up, that Cavadas would hit it 450 feet. Maybe you did. Have you ever given up one like that far before?
You know, none off the top of my head. You know, he got all of that ball. You know, you just got to tip your hat and throw the next pitch. But no, I don't think I've ever given up a home run that far.
All right, we'll end with Joel Coleman.
Landon, what's it say about this program that it doesn't matter year in, year out, the cast of characters change, but yet every single year, the last 3 years, it's gone to Omaha, and then there's been supers the last half decade, and you know all the stats to this point. What's it say about this program that no matter, you know, who puts on that maroon and white, it just seems like there is, I guess, as Logan said, a culture there. And I guess, when does that set in for you as a player?
You know, it's a standard here. You know, as soon as you put pen to paper that you're coming to play baseball at Mississippi State, you know, to get here and in this situation, it's the standard. You know, 2 years ago when they were hosting Stanford here and made it to Omaha, my parents were like, "Hey, you want to take a trip to Omaha?" And I was like, you know, let's save the money because I have a really good feeling that we might take a trip or two to Omaha while I'm here.